So now we are moving on to my little buddy from National, the ALA-MIS program. So what does ALA-MIS stand for? Why it's not ALAMIS and it's ALA-MIS is it is the American Legion Auxiliary Management Information System. Okay, what is ALAMIS? ALAMIS is a national database used by our units, our districts, and the departments from not just Michigan, from around the country to manage membership, reports, leadership information, and it deals with all of that stuff. It's National's big database, and it has not just us, but everybody in there. So that's why earlier when I said about put the state that you're going to transfer from, that's why that has to go to National, because they're the only ones that can transfer somebody from a different state to our state. No one from our state can transfer to a different state without National physically doing it. I have to let National know. National actually has to do it. So that is ALA-MIS. So we're going to go through what the ALA-MIS application is. All right, that's this one here. One thing I do want to let you know is each unit is allowed to have up to 2 designated users for the ALAMIS access, or ALA-MIS access. Okay. So 2 people from your unit, you cannot have a third person. If a third person tries to get access and 2 people already have access, that person will not get access. So there are different levels and different types of access. And we're going to go break them down individually. First, your levels. We have unit view, unit right, unit full, and district view. And then with our types of access, we have our new access, our renewal access, and our switch levels of access. And switch levels is actually 2 things. All right. Okay, so unit view access in ALA-MIS. So you're one of your 2 units users, you get your access, you want unit view access. This allows you to go into the system and you can view, download, and print unit reports. Okay, so let's say somebody was entered, they sent in a new member application, that application person got put in, but they haven't got paid through. So remember how I said the transfers, they got to pay them through. They'll actually be put in a little like unit pending section. And all of those reports are in there. You can see who your new members are. You have a new member report. You have leadership reports. You have who joined your recruiting reports. All of your reports are in there. And with unit view access, which costs $10, you can view, download, and print all of those reports. As a person who's doing the membership for your unit, so important. Like so important to have. Again, it's like trying to pass a college class without a textbook. Next up is unit right. So you're going to have the same capabilities that you have from unit view, but you are also then on your own end able to add new members, edit member profiles, and update unit leadership. So again, what that means by add new members is you can put them into the system with unit right, but then we would still be processing them through a department. So they would be in that pending section. Okay. The most popular access that everybody has is the $20 unit full access. That allows you to do everything that you can do in unit view and unit right. You are also then able to pay your dues and rejoin former members to your unit. Okay. This does require that you take National's ALA-MIS virtual training. It's about an hour. You will sit on Zoom with a representative from National, and they will train you. If you sign up for unit full access and you do not take your training from National, you do not have unit full access. You do not get that access until you've taken that training. And then finally, we have the district view access, which is for district level representatives. Each district is allowed 2 representatives. And in district view, a district can then run department reports and they can view individual unit reports for their entire district. So you can see what all of your units are doing. The way I like to explain the difference between unit, district, department, and national is city, county, state, federal. So that's kind of what you're thinking of. A lot of the stuff is going to happen at the unit level that you guys are going to do and then come up. So again, for unit full access, if you want to do it all yourself and you want to process your members and do all those things, except for the things you need national or department to do ourselves, unit full access is the best one because you can just get to a point where You're literally handling it, and then we're just checking our due diligence to make sure everything went in. We have one unit, she sent us copies of the transmittal and stuff, and I always enter it already entered because everything is already in there. I'll double check it, but she's able to handle it all in-house. So that's really something that a lot of people are liking. All right. So I do want to go on to the different types of access. So new access is going to be somebody who has not had ALAMIS access for the past year. So if you're new or you were in ALAMIS 2 years ago, you didn't have it last year, you would be added as a new access. Renew access is going to continue your current level of access for another year, just like your membership. So if you renew that, then you keep your access going. Your switch access, you can replace a person in your unit as one of the 2 designated unit users, or you can upgrade or downgrade your unit level or your level of access. Okay. So if you're going to replace one of the 2 people, you would mark that as a switch. If you're going to change what level of access you're going to be doing, you would mark that as a switch as well. Updating access for 2026 will start November 1st. Okay, so think of it like an enrollment, right? So on November 1st, department will start accepting applications, and we will accept those applications from November 1st, 2025 to January 9th, 2026. Every year it's going to be that window. It's probably going to be that 1st of November till the 2nd Friday in the new year. Because what National does is then they get a hold of me and they say, Mike, here's our list of everybody we have in ALAMIS. If anybody is on this list that shouldn't have access, we're going to assume that everyone on this list is supposed to have access. We're going to charge the department for their access. So what happened last year is everyone who had not logged in since 2023, who had not used their ALAMIS, and were still on that list, we removed them from the list. We pulled them off. Some people were upset because they didn't know they needed to renew, but what happened was it saved the department a substantial amount of money. Because we weren't paying for people. There were some people who had been paying, we'd been paying for ALAMIS for 3-4 years. So any users whose renewals are not received by January 9th, 2026, you will be removed from the ALAMIS program. So again, anyone who has not sent in their renewal or will be, and who's in the program, who has not sent in their renewal, will be removed sometime around the middle of January. And that's going to happen every year. I'm really happy with our units this year because we handled it pretty well. I felt that everybody was like, okay, this is why we're doing this. But keep those dates in mind, that November through January every year, that's going to be when we're going to be doing those accesses. Okay. So now I'm actually going to go through the document itself and show you guys how to fill this out. If you want ALAMIS access, this is going to be how you get that access. And again, this is the first, obviously, of my performance here. This is the first of many trainings we'll be doing, but we will start to get deeper into these trainings and different types of trainings to help everybody get everything to run smoothly and efficiently. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to mark the type of access you want at the top. You'll see new access, renew access, or switch access. Okay, you're going to mark that at the top, which one of those 3. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go down and it says what kind of access. And the great thing, we've been updating these, and I want to thank Mark and Shannon for getting these updated and then getting them on our website. It actually has the explanation that I went over earlier about full unit right and district view and what those contain. You're going to check those boxes. It also has your payment total there as well. Okay, that'll be that next section. And you'll see right there, there's the little star. If you request to switch access, please indicate why and name the member with a current access who is being replaced below. So you'll see down here, there's a section. So, let's say there's 2 people from your unit. You're going to replace one of the people. You write in, I'm switching access. I'm replacing a person in my unit. If you don't list the name of the person, I don't know who to remove. So list the name of the person, even if you're because if you're the second person, you don't need to remove it if you want to. But please list the name of that person because that's going to help us keep everything straight and keep what we're doing together. I don't know if everybody is aware of this, but Michigan currently is the 5th largest auxiliary in the nation, membership-wise. So there are only 4 other states that process more memberships than we do. And that's why we're, national and us are wanting everyone to start to check out this ALAMIS system. Because again, everyone who's started to use it, who uses it and feels it is super helpful compared to beforehand. There are hands being raised in the room. I want to. But yeah, it does take a little bit of getting used to. There's things I'll find in it. I've been in the job, about 8 months. And there are still things that I find in ALAMIS that helps me make my job more efficient and faster, in the different reports and things like that. So we'll continue on with how we want to fill this out. Make sure then again, we got that other unit number and district number. Make sure you get those correct. And then the calendar year of access being requested for, we've already filled that in for you for 2025. And then we'll put those when it's time for the 2026 renewals, it'll say 26. Chair held within unit. So if you're the membership chair, the treasurer, the president, whatever, you're going to put that information in there. And then we go down to our member information. And again, all these sections, if you see a line, please write on it. Your name, your member ID, because these are all questions. These forms are all questions ALAMIS asks me when I'm putting it in. So what's the member's name? What's the member's ID number? Their email, this one. Make sure the email is legible, especially if you are doing unit full, because if you give us the wrong email and we punch it, or it's not readable, we put an A in instead of an O in a word or something like that. You will not get your training email and know to take your training. So it's important that that email one is listed because that's how they're going to communicate with you. National does a lot of email communication with us. Like how I mainly communicate with National is via email. Like if you go up to National as down to unit, like the phone calling gets drastically less. So they are wanting, and that's them wanting to start to digitize things, bring everything ahead. And that's why they're wanting you to have all of this stuff filled out so they can have it correct in their system. Again, you're switching access, the reason for your switch, and the name of the person you are replacing. Okay. We literally had one where somebody sent in, they were going to be their unit, whatever. And they sent it in and they already had 2 people. They didn't say that they were switching. They didn't say they were replacing. We sent their check back to them and we said, your unit already has 2 people that are in ALAMIS or in ALAMIS. They have to figure, like the unit has to figure that out on their end. You know what I mean? Of who's going to be the people with the access. Okay. Go ahead and go to that next slide. Just want to reiterate a couple points. Again, if you request access and are replacing someone in your unit as a designated user, please list the name of the current designated user you are replacing. If you do not list the current designated user's name and your unit already has 2 people with designated access, you will not be added and given access. If you upgrade your level of access, this one is important. If you upgrade your level of access to a higher level of access, so it's the middle of the year, right? So it's February, you've already sent your stuff in, you have your access. If you want to have a higher level of access, you will need to pay the full amount for that access. So if you paid unit right $15 on November 15th and you decide on February 14th that you want unit full, then you would need to pay $20 per unit full, and that would take you till November. Okay. Any questions anyone has on the ALAMIS access application? Go ahead and write those down now.
I just want to say something. If you don't have an email, you cannot have ALAMIS access.
Yes, that is true.
You must have an email.
Our executive director in the back made a very good point. If you do not have an email, you cannot have ALAMIS access. So always remember that.